The Wild Nor'Western or the Express is one of the most important trains to be pulled on Sodor. No matter what happens, it needs to run. Gordon pulls the Express the most, and he is very proud of this, but James and Henry have been known to pull it when he's away. Gordon often brags about being able to pull the Express the most. I'm the only one who can pull it and keep up a regular time. When others pull it, they're just on time, but me, oh no, I make sure it's early. Express may be important, but it doesn't make you more important than anyone else here. Of course it does. The faster I go, the faster the fat controller is happy. The faster you go, the more likely you are to get in trouble. One day, Emily was pulling a local train to Knapford when she saw Gordon pulling in very slowly. Sir Topham Hatt did not look happy. Rosie. What has happened? Gordon had an accident with the Express. Now the fat controller has no clue who will take it tomorrow. He's keeping Gordon in the shed. I wonder if I could pull the Express. Do you think it could be me? Who knows? I mean, most of the other mainline engines have done it. Maybe you're next. The next day, Emily was getting ready with all the other engines. Gordon was in the shed with the others at Knapford. Emily was getting excited. I wonder if I'll get my chance. If anything, it should be me, James said, annoyed. Nonsense, you have all your other jobs. How can you pull the Express? Soon Sir Topham Hatt came to meet Emily. Emily, I have a very important job for you, though it may be hard. I'd like you to take the Express today. I understand if you... But Emily interrupted as she rushed to back down to the train. Careful with my coaches. Your coaches. This is not your Express anymore. This is Emily's Express. Emily had one large wheel on each side. Because of this large wheel, it can lead to wheel slip, making it hard for her to start. She was underestimating the weight of the train. She found it was harder for her to start. It took a few moments till the train was rolling at a good speed. The Express was on its way. It seemed like everything was all right, except whenever Emily had to go up. They were soon coming to the drawbridge. Emily would usually pass under. Emily made sure to remember to whistle that she was coming. The man inside the drawbridge hadn't been informed of what happened to Gordon, and so the bridge started to rise. Brakes slammed on, but it was too late. Emily was left dangling towards the line below. Boko and Rosie, who were in the yard at the time of the crash, were sent to help clear the line. Oh dear. Are you all right? Said Rosie, seeing Emily dangling. Yes, just feeling a bit silly. Don't worry, we're going to get you out. They didn't wait any longer, helping Emily to safety. Then finding a place where Boko could take over the train. Then Rosie helped Emily back to the shed. Annie and Claire were Thomas's faithful coaches. They love their runs although they are old. Passengers sometimes complain about their age, but no matter what they say, Thomas is proud of them. One day, Thomas was arriving at Knapford when he saw Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas, I need you to help out at the quarry for a while, since Emily can't pull the Express. I need Boko to do it. You will have to take trucks along with your coaches. Yes, sir. And the next day, Thomas went to meet Mavis at Farquhar. Hello, Thomas. Since Boko can't get trucks right now, my manager is letting me take trucks down to the station. That's good. I assume you enjoy it. Oh, yes. I always love a good run away from the yard. Every morning Thomas would wait for Mavis. Take the trucks from the sidings. And couple them to Annie and Clarabel. The coaches did not get along with the trucks at all. It seemed every day the same trucks were part of Thomas's train. One was very troublesome and kept bumping and banging into Annie and Clarabel whenever they got the chance. The other would just not stop chatting. Thomas took no mind. It didn't seem like they were planning anything devious, so he just took the trucks to the harbour. And left Annie and Clarabel there while he went to do another job. Hector the hopper truck was also in the yard. Now I have to be stuck with these trucks, he groaned. He was just as annoyed with the trucks as Thomas's coaches were. They are the most annoying trucks in the whole world, added Annie. Dreadfully rude and disrespectful, finished Clarabel, surprised to find someone who was annoyed by the trucks as much as them, especially a truck. Soon, they told Hector about the trouble they were having and Hector listened. I see those trucks have names actually. Chester and Chuckle. No matter how hard you try, they just do not stop. But I think you two should try and ignore them. The most important thing is to make sure anything too devious isn't started. If it is, I'm sure you two will be able to think of a quick plan. Yes, the two agreed. If anything happens, I have an emergency brake, Clarabel told Hector. I bet that will be very useful. Oh no, Rosie bustled in, whistling and buffering the two irritating trucks to Hector. Poor Hector. The next day, sure enough, the trucks were on the siding when Thomas came to Farquhar, although this time, he had his special coach that day. A famous chef was visiting the island, and so his train was much longer. Chuckle bumped hard into Annie. Ow. The trucks laughed, a guard's whistle blew, and they were on their way. Annie and Clarabel kept a stern eye on the trucks all day. It seemed everything was going well, till they reached a bridge that goes over the river. The trucks saw their chance. They broke the coupling. They rolled behind Thomas, Chuckle wanting to push Thomas off the rails. Cinders and ashes, cried Thomas, seeing that the coaches and trucks were now casually rolling behind him. It was time for action. Thomas put his brakes on and tried to bring the train to a stop. Clarabel also quickly joined in. Clarabel and Thomas, using their brakes, were able to bring the train to a stop right near the station. The passengers called Clarabel a hero. This made Clarabel a bit arrogant. But well, that's a story for later. Sodor is always a busy place. With passengers and cargo needing delivery, there is always something to do. Except for Gordon. He had been at the works for weeks. He needed some repairs for a while now, but since it was a busy season, Certiform didn't know when to spare him. Gordon was bored. I wonder what day it is. It seems like I've sat here forever, he sulked to himself as he looked about the yard. He soon noticed a large green diesel he'd never seen before. Hello, said Gordon. Who are you? Oh, me, I'm Bear. I'm the new engine to help pull express trains. Gordon was shocked. The express? Have you just arrived? He questioned suspiciously. Oh no, just doing another job. Goodbye. Gordon didn't say any more to the diesel. He just sat there watching him grimly as he pulled out of the yard. The other engines liked Bear and enjoyed chatting with him whenever they had the time. Why, Bear? Asked Edward one day. Well, it seems my driver thinks I have an engine that growls like a bear. The other engines thought this was funny. First Duck, then Bear, Is this a railway or a zoo? Even Duck laughed at this. All enjoyed Bear. All, except James. Whenever he found the time, he'd start to complain. Smelly Diesel's taking more of our work. First Boko took over Gordon's Express while he's stuck at the works. Then the Fat Controller gets another Diesel to pull the Express. The others were not very amused. If you ask me, an express service is a steam engine job, James concluded. You just want to pull it yourself, put in Rosie. James was cross about this. But he was glad when he heard Gordon was cross too. An engine who had never been on the island was taking his passengers, and it was their first job. This is undignified. Why have this ugly thing pull my train? I agree, why have some box on wheels pull an important train when they can have a splendid engine like me? I mean us. I think we should think of a plan to show this Diesel a lesson. The next morning, James made sure to leave very early before anyone could notice. He pulled the coaches out of the yard and hid them away. Now no one will know where the coaches are, and when it's time for the express, I'll pull it. Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds later in the morning. Hello all. Hello sir. He gave out everyone's jobs, and James. James? Where is James? We don't know, sir, said Rosie Hum. Maybe he got an early start then. Probably went to the wash down or something. Sir, I can't find the coaches for the express. What? Do you know where they were yesterday? Yes, sir, but I checked and they were gone. Hum. I think I know who would have a part in this. He drove off to find James. He was in Knapford Station, very suspicious with a big smile on his face, when he heard a familiar James. Where are the express coaches? I don't know, sir. Probably in the yard. You've been planning some kind of trick. No, sir. I will not have this on my railway. If you would lie to me, you will stay in your shed. James wisely hurried to get the coaches. James was still very cross that night. Silly Diesels. I'll show them. Emily had been feeling bad since she crashed pulling the express. She wanted to make up for it and was trying to work harder than ever. She would take trucks from the docks, passengers from Knapford. Then she would often have to help shunt trucks in the yard, and she wouldn't take any moment to rest. Rosie was worried. Emily, I think you should take a break. You've been working so hard, especially around the yards, but it may lead to accidents. Nonsense. I should work even harder than ever, then maybe I'll be able to pull the express again. One day, she was tasked with a special job. Boko can't make it today, said her driver, so we need to take some supplies to the new building site. The train was mostly full of fuel for the construction team, but had some wood for the new building on the train as well. We'll need to be careful and take this slowly. The faster we go, the more we could bump into the trucks, the more an accident can happen with the fuel, the driver said gravely. Emily wasn't listening. She went into the yard. She was thinking about the quickest way to the building site, and accidentally bumped into the trucks.
Ow.
Called one truck.
Lee?
Cried another.
Don't be so rude.
Sorry, it was an accident, she said sympathetically. The trucks didn't like Emily now, and wanted to think of a way to get her in trouble. Emily had decided to go along the branch line, since she could get to Didmouth much quicker. At the construction site, Jack and his friends were cleaning up the area. They were going to be demolishing an old engine shed. Emily was on her way. Suddenly, there was a red signal. Look out. Hey, that was my signal. Emily was rushing. She didn't know she was on the wrong line, heading towards the shed. Emily was stuck on the other side of the shed. Suddenly, smoke started to come from the remains of the shed. Well, what's that? Fire, one workman called. The fuel must have leaked. Buster squeaked. I'll get help, I'm very fast. No, I think Isabella should go. Byron's right. Isabella, go get help. And she rolled away. Quick as a wink, the fire brigade made it to the site of the wreck. Emily was glad the fire was put out. One night it was raining on the island of Sodor. It was said that the rain was going to grow into a storm, so most evening trains were cancelled. Thomas was not happy. He had just finished his last train and had to go home in the cold, damp weather. As he backed into the shed, he saw someone unexpected in the shed. Hello, Rosie. What are you doing here? Hello, Thomas. I took some empty trucks to the quarry for Mavis. After I did, the rain started to come down. Toby said I could sleep here for the night and he would stay at the quarry. Ah well, welcome to Farquhar Sheds. I've always thought it must be very nice running a branch line of your own. Oh, it is. It's very important work, he boasted, and he told Rosie all about how he got his branch line. Rosie always admired Thomas's story. She wanted her story to be just like that. She wanted to prove herself worthy of pulling her own trains and not just doing odd jobs around the yards. The next morning, Rosie whistled goodbye as she left the shed. Halfway down the line she saw Harold the helicopter. There was a worker waving a red flag next to him. There has been a rock slide at the quarry. The rails are stable but they need to get back into business quickly. We need a quick engine to collect Jack and Alfie and take them to dig out the line. I'm on it. Rosie rushed to the construction company. She told Miss Jenny the whole situation. And as soon as the two construction vehicles were on the trucks, she raced away. It didn't take long for her to get to the quarry. Mavis, Toby, and the trucks were stuck on the other side of the rock slide. Some trucks were taken in the landslide, but luckily none were broken. Jack and Alfie set to work digging through the rocks. Minute by minute they cleared the rocks. They loaded stone into lorries that came to take the rock away. Soon after, Harvey and the breakdown train came to survey the engines for damage and put the derailed trucks back on the track. Good work, Rosie, called Toby. You came just in time, said Mavis. Just doing what's right, Rosie smiled. She helped get the quarry up and running for the rest of the day. That night Rosie stayed at Farquhar Sheds again. Sir Hat came to meet the engines. I have heard about your heroism and I'm very proud of you, so I have decided you will be able to pull trains more. Oh, thank you, sir. Rosie is now closer to her dream than ever. She helps take small trains whenever the bigger engines feel overworked. She's a great help to the main line and the whole island of Sodor. Bear, the new express diesel, had been filling in for Gordon while he was at the works. He worked hard, but James was still being rude. The express is a train that represents the whole railway. If anyone should pull it, it should represent the majority. Most of the engines ignore this. All except for Bear himself. He had tried to work hard at impressing James. But it usually didn't succeed. One day, James and Bear were in the shed, as Rosie rushed in. "I'm sorry, you two. I have to take a small train. Can one of you shunt the trucks for me while I'm gone?" James at trucks. Bear had heard from the other engines of James' disdain for trucks, but never thought it would come to his advantage. "No, it's all right, I'll do it." "Oh, all right then." He smiled, knowing he had made a good impression. But he wasn't so sure when he met the trucks. "Come on. It's time to move." The trucks had grown comfortable. They sat at the platform and were liking the attention. Bear rolled over to the trucks and buffered up. "It's time to move." He tried to push them, but the trucks wouldn't move. No, we won't go, called the trucks and slipped their brakes on. Bear didn't know this and kept pushing, his engine growling fiercely. But then there was trouble. "Oh dear, I don't feel so good." Bear tried to back up, but soon came to a stop. Hat came to see Bear. "I need to speak with you. Because of the accident, I'm going to need an engine to take the trucks now and pull the express later." "James, you will have to do it." James wasn't happy about the trucks, but was happy about the express. Now I will get to show the diesel how really useless he is. You'll want to be careful. Thomas is coming with a visitor. Thomas better be there then. James wanted to show off to the passengers. He rushed forward. But then he saw the troublesome trucks being shunted over the points. Ow, my paint. Later that evening, Hat was cross at the engines. "I have started to suspect. You engines are being careless." "What do you mean, sir?" "What I mean is, there have been more accidents happening regularly. People won't travel here if it is unsafe. If any more accidents occur, I will have to find new engines who can do their work safely." The engines knew this was bad news for the railway.